So I've been thinking about doing this YouTube channel for a while. Always going back and forth. I've had some videos up there, but nothing ever really feels right. And so I was talking to my brother who's into a guy on YouTube called Sam Salek, I believe, a bodybuilder, an amateur bodybuilder. And he was telling me how this guy has been recording a video every day for the past year. Now he has over 1.1, I believe he said over 1 million followers on TikTok, and I don't know how many on YouTube, I forget the number. And as he was saying this, he also mentioned to me that if you're going to post something on YouTube, TikTok, make sure it's something that you like doing. Make sure it's something you're willing to record every day. My brother is very wise for his age. He's 19, 10 years younger than me. And I kept asking myself, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to set aside time for every single day to record? And the best thing I can think of is just talking. It's talking. That's it. Just what's on my mind. And so I've been going to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, for the past 2 years, a bit more. I've been sober for the same amount of time. And the thing I like most about the AA is the fact that that's a place where I can just sit down with people who understand where I've been, get a sense of where I'm going because they've been there too, and we just speak our minds. There is really no structure in AA. The only structure that's there is like just reading the steps. So there are 12 steps in AA, and the meeting starts off with us just reading the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, and then just it's open floor, speak your mind. And everyone gets a chance to speak. If you're willing to speak, no one forces you to speak. There's no like, okay, Oscar, it's your turn. There's no such thing. It's silence. And we're seated in a circle, right? We're seated in a circle. And everyone is staring down at the floor because, like, I guess people want to find, like, build up the courage to actually speak their mind. Because, so you don't know what you're going to say. Maybe the silence could be some people plotting out the narrative. I know in some cases that has been my situation for me, whereby I'm quiet just because I'm thinking about how I'm going to start my conversation, start my discourse, right? But most of the time it's quiet because we're not really used to public speaking. We're not trained. We feel nervous. We assume what the other person may think about what I'm going to say. Most of the time, people don't care that much. Most of the time, people are just living in their own heads. People are just, as you're thinking about what you're going to say, the next person is also thinking about what they're going to say. And maybe what you say will influence what they say and vice versa, right? And so the average, like an average share for me will be 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm just rambling like this, much like this. And I'll speak about what's going on in my life. So I go to AA once a week, every Saturday, right? And so when I go to the meeting, I just ramble about what has been going on in my life for the past week. And the reason is I've come to discover for me personally that sobriety works in my case because I am able to meet people who know what it is like being alcoholic, number one, and to be able to openly discuss the things that could trigger my alcoholism, number two. And I tend to find that these small things, looking back at my drinking career, to small things that made me drink, like a fight with my wife, like worrying about bills, feeling like I have no purpose. That's a big thing, but it's like in the minutiae of it all, it's just basically I was being lazy, I was procrastinating. But if I can go to a place I can say, like, hey, I wanted to write this week, but I didn't make the time to write. I didn't write. It makes me consider, hey, maybe when I get home after this meeting, I should just write, even though it's just 5-10 minutes, and that is enough for me to not drink for that day, right? And also the aspect of community. Now, in the modern world, we all lack community. We all feel as though we're alone. It's like, I live in Osaka City. There are 4 million people in the city. 4 million people, right? But if I didn't have my family, if I didn't have my wife, my kids, if I didn't have AA, I would be extremely lonely in this place because everyone is so focused on what they're doing, their job, their families, their goals. So no one has to, like, I wear a watch, right? And I look at my watch every few minutes because, wow, I'm thinking about what I've got to do next. And this is a habit that I developed in Japan. In Kenya, I wore a watch, but it was more, for the aesthetics, not really for the, not really for its purpose. It was an aesthetic thing. Now here it's like the watch serves its original purpose. I want to know the time. Okay, the train is gonna be at what, let's say 8:23. If I leave home now, I'll have a few minutes to spare. So that's the thinking process for me, and I see everyone else in Osaka City. So no one has to just sit down and talk with you, especially not about your problems, right? So I want to make this YouTube thing similar. Can I just speak my mind? Can I just speak? And I find that if I speak about my problems, maybe someone else is gonna be in the comments and say, you know what, hey, I'm going through the same things. This is how I dealt with it. Hey, thank you for sharing that. Now I know how to deal with my problem, right? And so problem number one I'm gonna share on this first episode of my podcast is, not podcast, I have a podcast already, on my YouTube, maybe my TikTok even, is this is my school. This is my language school. So I opened this school a month ago, maybe 7 weeks ago, right? And I'm waiting for my second customer ever. He's gonna be here in 1 hour. And so running a business is hard because it's like I quit my full-time job to focus on running this business. And it's tricky because like I have to worry about the rent here, the rent at home, my bills. And so on this side, I have a part-time job and I'm working construction. So every morning I wake up at 4 or 5 and go to construction work. And the construction work will end some days really early, like by midday, I'm done. And that will give me enough time to come back here and, go home, take a shower, and come to my school and start my lessons, right? And I say start my lessons even though we have 2 students, because one of my students comes every day from 2:30 p.m. And so I've realized the best way to make this business grow is to improve as an individual, right? The question isn't how can I become rich? How can I make this business successful? The question is, what kind of person has a successful business? And I realized, number one, so far what I've learned is, number one, I have to be confident. Confident in my ability, confident in myself. But how do I become confident in myself? I have to actually work to build up this confidence, right? And it's small things. So someone I spoke to on Instagram a few weeks ago told me that, number one, you have to work on your body. And it seems very superficial, but it's not, right? I have been working out for quite some time. And the thing you learn from working out is that, hey, I look better. I can pump my chest out. I feel confident in my body, right? I don't worry about what people think about me as much as I did when I was more flabby, right? And even though I do worry, but it's more towards the positive sense, right? Do I look good in this t-shirt? Not like, oh, I look really bad in this t-shirt, right? And then next, if I work on myself, people see me like your physical appearance, especially like if you're fit, if you look good, if your chest is looking good, your arms are looking good, your back is looking good, that is something that people know you worked to earn, right? Like no one can doubt someone who is physically fit. You cannot doubt that. And people respect that, even though we talk about body positivity in the modern world. Body positivity is only a thing if you've actually worked towards being positive about your body, like loving your body. And loving your body means disciplining your body, right? I'm going to go to the gym 4 days a week. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to watch my sleep. Now, I haven't succeeded all of these things. I'm still really bad at my diet and my sleep, but the working out part is still hard. There are many days when I don't want to go to the gym. I'd rather stay at home. I'd rather just focus on my sleep hygiene, which I know that's just an excuse because I was too tired to go to the gym, right? But the more I work on myself, the way I see people look at me, right? I can see people look at me and feel like they're impressed. The way they view me makes me feel as though they're impressed with my physique. And I don't have the best physique in the world. I just have a better physique than most people, right? And that level of confidence is undeniable. It is undeniable, right? If you walk into a room and people say, check him out, and they mean that in the best sense, like, oh my God, he looks really good. She looks really good. You can feel that, like that energy, like they say energy goes where attention, was it attention goes where energy flows, or vice versa? Whatever it is, like energy, positive energy is coming towards you. I can walk with my head up, with my chin up, chest out, back straight. Small things, right? And these are the small steps that lead towards me becoming the kind of person who has a successful business. Because if I go into a meetup, right, and I'm introducing myself, handing out business cards, it's like, hey, I'm going there slouching, like I'm nervous, I feel really uncomfortable in my skin. I'm like, hey, my name is Oscar, nice to meet you. I own such and such business. Here is my card, right? And they feel the energy, right? And they'll want to reciprocate that. But like, as I've said, it's like, I'm still at the place where I'm still growing it's just been 7 weeks. Yes, it could be better. I could be better. And sometimes it's really hard, like, sometimes it's hard to to imagine what will happen if this business doesn't succeed. That means I've let my family down, my wife, my children, myself. And when I look about this business succeeding, it's not just me and my immediate family. I think about, hey, I could help people in so many ways. Not just my clients, but think about this. I come from Kenya, and every once in a while, someone from back home will send me a message on Messenger, on WhatsApp, or Facebook, on Instagram. Hey, Oscar, I'm really stuck. Can you help me with some money? Now, I'm the kind of person who just will say yes. Yeah, I'll give you the money, right? But for most of my life, I've been in a situation whereby I can't give someone money. But I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a guy who can say, you know what, you need help? Here you are. How much do you need, right? Do you need connections to get a job? Okay, I can help you find a job. Hey, I actually have a school and I need teachers. Can you teach? Do you have the qualifications to teach? Come on down. We'll have a quick interview. And that's the kind of person I want to be, the kind of person who is not only financially successful, but also the kind of person who can help people. Like I can afford to put myself out there without worrying, hey, this is really hurting me now. Right? And the more I go through life every day, like I've had financial problems as well. And I've asked people for help and people couldn't help me. And I know for a fact, it's not because they didn't want to help me, it's because they couldn't, right? You can't give from an empty cup. So I want to have a full cup, full to the brim. So it's like when someone needs water, sir, here you are, here you are, here you are. Because I want to be the kind of person who is actually capable and willing to help everyone. I know what it's like to seek help and to not be able to get it. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the kind of guy who can actually help without, worrying about small things, petty things. And so I say this as I bring this to a close. What kind of person do you want to be? And how far are you from that today? In this moment, as you're watching this, how far away from the kind of person you want to be are you? I assure you, looking at myself, looking at where I was 2 years ago versus now. Yes, maybe 2 years ago I was making more money. For sure I did. But also 2 years ago I wasn't running a business. Like now I may be struggling financially, but I know when this thing succeeds, I'm going to make more money than I've ever made in my whole life. So 2 years ago, Oscar, alcoholic Oscar, actively alcoholic Oscar, might have been financially comfortable. But he was living in a castle of sand. But now, I'm building my castle out of brick and mortar. And I understand it takes time and I'm struggling and success takes time and nothing good comes easy. That's That's a big lesson. I'm going to discuss that one day because I've been through some major experiences with that. Nothing good comes easy. So as I bring this to a close, what kind of person do you want to be? And how far are you from that? You're not that far off, I assure you. Stay blessed.